You understand? Give that piece of profit a big hand. We're the ISUK, Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. We come out every weekend, Lord allow, to make sure our blacks, Hispanics, and Indian brothers and sisters keep the truth and nothing but the truth. Because the Christian church has been telling lies since you've been in America. You understand? We've been learning by dogs, liars, and thieves living in America. We've been learning about the so-called white man, which is the biggest murderer on the planet. We want to act like we holier than thou. But you understand that there's misconceptions on this earth. You blacks, Hispanics, and Indians, you not no drug dealers. You ain't no thugs. You ain't the bottom of the earth. And so you're the greatest thing on this planet if you're a black, Hispanic, and Indian. That's right. That's one thing you never told America. Because you go to TV, you see Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, all the superheroes are what? White. You want to save it there, always white. You understand? Brooklyn Nine-No, you understand? Chicago PD, everything you see is the white man saving the day. But you understand? But that's a lie and the misconstrued truth that's being pushed in America. You understand? So right now, because of that, we go around on the earth and we try to emulate the so-called white man. We try to go around and do the things that he do so we can be great like him. Like, look at Chicago. We're downtown Chicago, the third biggest city in the country. And guess what? We want to do what they did to get this. You understand? Grab what you got? And the thing about that is, us being blacks and Native Indians, we should not be learning from the so-called white man. You understand? Because when we start learning from the so-called white man, we start doing what he does. And the things that he do are against the Bible, against the Lord, and against Jesus Christ. Read. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor. Do what? Envy thou not the oppressor. You understand? We in 2025, and I guarantee you, blacks, Hispanics, and Indians don't even know who the oppressor on this earth today. The oppressor is the so-called white man. Why? Because he's flooding your communities with crack cocaine. Why? Because he put all the drugs and all the guns in your communities. He put the Native Indians on the reservations. And he's sending all the Hispanic brothers and sisters to the borders and sending them down to the prison systems. You understand? Who put us in slavery for 400 plus years? The so-called white man. He's been oppressing us for the last 400 plus years, and we want to join hand in hand with the devil the Bible speaks of, which is the so-called white man. We want to emulate and do what he does, let alone at the same time, you getting shot down in the street. Let alone, you're the ones that have to bury your children. You try to go to the prison system to go visit your families. You understand? This is the things the so-called white man did to us. This ain't our country, it's theirs. Read. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his way. Do what? Choose none of his way. You understand? You want to know the number one way the so-called white man got that we do not need to follow? It's Christianity. Right. You understand? Christianity is the religion of Satan. You understand? It's a religion for white people that use our book, which is the laws and commandments in the Bible, against us. You understand? Why do you think when we were back in physical chains and bondage, we weren't allowed to read the Bible? Why do you think they didn't allow us to read and write? And so that they can teach us the doctrines that they want to teach us. So that's why they contrived and built up Christianity. They used us as slaves to keep us black, Hispanics, and Native Indians in check. Right. That's what you got me Isaiah 9:16, Bible Rashad. And the thing about that is, now because we've been learning the ways of the devil, because we've been learning the ways of Christianity, we've been learning from the so-called white man, we got disgusting blacks and Hispanics running around trying to act like white people. You understand? The so-called white man is the most disgusting race on this earth. You understand? What do they not do? They sleep with each other, brothers and sisters. They go sleep with animals. You understand? They eat everything on this earth. They murder everything on this earth. And they want to act like they have done something great to this planet. Let me one good thing the so-called white man has done in this world. You can't. He's the number one murderer. Has he not destroyed and murdered 77 million Indians to steal this country? Right. Did he not murder over 100 million so-called Negroes when they stole us, when he took us from Africa? You understand? What has he killed? Look at the Native Indians. They on their own land in America, but pushed over to the corner by the so-called white man. Right. You understand? Name me one good thing he's done. He brought all the cocaine over here with Ronald Reagan now. They brought syphilis and AIDS and everything with them too. Right. You understand? What haven't they done? What have they done that's great? You understand? So-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and you can never get away from that. But have Uncle Negroes like Martin Luther King, like Louis Farrakhan, and all the black leaders of America, we think that we need to be like the so-called white man. Right. But guess what? The Bible says something different. The Bible says we need to separate from our enemies. Our enemies are the ones that put the crack cocaine in our areas. Our enemies are the ones that shoot us down in CPD every goddamn day. Our enemies are the ones that we want to join hand in hand with and sing Kumbaya with. Civil rights was a joke. Martin Luther King dream was a nightmare for black Native Indians. You understand? We need to get rid of these black leaders in America, and it's in the Bible. Let's go. Book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 16. For the leaders of this people, for the leaders of this people cause them to err. You understand? For our so-called black leaders in America, they're the ones causing us to err. What does err mean? It means to do things wrong. You understand? We're falling short of everything because we listen to the Christian pastors now. We listen to your deacons and your reverends, and we're looking at these celebrities like they something great in America. Right. Hey, guess what? Isn't Shannon Sharpe someone that is a black leader in America? Is he not? He's always on ESPN. He's always has his opinion about this and that. But guess what Shannon Sharpe just got done with? He got caught up by an OnlyFans hoe. Right. You understand? Shannon Sharpe over here buying prostitutes, and that's your leader. You look at Shannon Sharpe like he's doing something good. He might know a little thing about basketball. He might know a little thing about football too. But Shannon Sharpe is a no-good nigga that buys some coochies. Right. That's all he is. And you can't say anything good about him. You want to know why? Because he's getting sued for what, 50 million? 50 million is crazy. But guess what? That's what you get for buying a prostitute that really only sells her body for $2.50. Right. I can find that in my couch. You understand? He's over here one of the richest black men around buying $3 hoes. Tell me that's the person you're supposed to be following. And we want to say that we ain't destroying America. America's dream is that so much black people, we're buying prostitutes when we're millionaires. You understand? Instead of just finding a good woman, a man. Come on, man. This is America we live in. America isn't the land of the home of the brave and the land of the free. America is the home of the white man and the land of the slaves. God damn it. Right. That's where we live. But because we go to the Christian church, because we listen to the so-called white man and our black leaders of America, we over here acting a damn fool, shucking and jiving in the Christian church. You understand? Hey, a movie just came out that we recently just went and saw. It's called Sinners. Michael B. Jordan was in the movie. Guess what was the populace of the movie? Wasn't it all black people? You want to know why? Because black people, we sin to a huge degree on this earth. We out here eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster when the Bible says don't eat that nonsense. Right. We over here sleeping with each other's women like adultery is in the damn sin. We going over here gangbanging against each other in our own communities, killing each other like murderers in a sin. But guess what? All these things that we're doing, we were told the law was done away with. Because Christianity is a lie. The law was never done away with in this Bible. You understand? You're supposed to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You're not supposed to eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. You're not supposed to covet another brother's woman. You understand? You're not supposed to lie, steal, rob. There's some morals in this Bible that we're supposed to be following as black and Hispanics. But because we learn from the devil, because we learn from the so-called white man, look at us in today's time. Look at us in 2025. You think we're succeeding in America as black people? We fill up the prison systems. We fill up the cemeteries. Where are we succeeding? At sports. We all know that we're the greatest on the earth when it comes to being physical. We're the smartest. We're the best singers. We got the best looking men and women on this earth. Of course, we have every tool that we need to survive in this place and thrive. But because we learn from the white man in Christianity, we suffer and die in 2024. Right. 2025. He said, drop that, Bradley, if you could. I got something to work. I mean, 1 John 2 and 16, Come. That's the whole point. We need to learn what we're doing in America. But the thing about America is we are over-sexualized in this place. You understand? Women running around dressing like $2 hoes. Half of these girls are graduating high school just to run the OnlyFans. Because it's easy to go sell your body and not have a brain. You understand? That's the whole point. We all about catching the Benjamins, but not about morality and, any type of direction on this earth. Read what you got. The book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 16. For The lust of the flesh. The what? Lust of the flesh. What? Lust of the flesh. The lust of the flesh is because we walking around 2025 thinking that we can just go have intercourse with anybody and everybody. You understand? Like an act of intercourse isn't an intimate act. You understand? According to the Bible, when you have sex with somebody, you marry. You understand? Marriage isn't going into the court system and getting a piece of paper and a ring. Those are material objects, dumb. Marriage is having sex with somebody. Because the most important thing you can give to somebody else is your own person. You understand? Your body is the most precious thing on this earth to you, your individual. You understand? You want things to ring with a piece of paper? Well, I can bring a lighter and throw your ring in the water, and what? Your marriage is an old now? Your marriage is an old because you got a ring and a piece of paper no more? Nah. Go ahead. And the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Is of the what? World. You understand? Our homosexualization in America is not of the Most High. It's of the so-called white man. You understand? That's why all over the media, all you see is what? Women dancing half naked, shaking their behind, showing their bodies, going to get BBLs and lip jobs and everything. Because your physical appearance is the only thing that's important to you in 2025. You understand? You just throwing your box to everyone that says hi to you, that buys you a meal, whatever the case may be. Getting training and everything. America is goddamn disgusting. You understand? And we need to realize that it's all because we're going to the Christian church. We worship in Satan 2024, 7, and you think that we're gonna get taught morality? The deacon is the one sleeping with your lady. The deacon's having sex with your wife. The deacon's selling you drugs, and that's the man that teaches you about the Bible. Right. Make that make sense to me, please. You understand? You go to church every damn Sunday, pay your 10% or more. They lock the doors on you and everything, and get your prayers, and you say, "This is the house of God." You understand? Drop that. Turn in Leviticus 19 and 27, or 19 and 29. Look, you understand? America is a hellhole for Black and Indians. And that's the whole point. Like we got, like I said, we got Shannon Sharp over here buying OnlyFans prostitutes. And then we got Kanye West now coming out saying that he was sleeping with his male cousin from the age of 6, all the way to he was 14 years old. You want to know why? Because molestation runs deep in the communities of the Black neighborhoods. Right. You understand? Because we are so over-sexualized in this place, we can't control ourselves. Because that's what we get from learning from immoral people. So-called white men, they don't have morality. The oppressive race, they don't have any sense of justice when it comes to the way they should go. You understand? They are conquerors, overtakers, and thieves. That's the greatest thing they've ever done. Is steal, rob, and kill. Read. Book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter. Do what? Do not prostitute thy daughter. You understand? I quote it like 50% of women nowadays are becoming OnlyFans models because they realize it's an easy bag. All they gotta do is show some ass, show their breasts, and now they're gonna get 30 subscribers at $5 a piece. Now they're making more money than half of y'all walking on the street right now. That's insane. You understand? We got OnlyFans models making $2, $3, $4, $7 billion for showing their bum holes to dirty, nasty people. You understand? And that's acceptable in America. Y'all fight for hoes nowadays. 2025, we defending the prostitutes. Isn't that insane? We defending prostitutes in 2025. 30 years ago, women weren't even allowed to dress like that. Right. 50 years ago, women knew how to dress and how to act. Right. You understand? But because the feminist movement really was just the hoarder movement. That's what the feminist movement was. It wasn't they want to be equal. It doesn't want to be this. They want to be able to dress naked and wear everything they can wear and do whatever they want to do. You understand? But the whole point of the matter is that's what you get from learning from the Satan. That's what you get from going to the Christian church. Right. We asked this. You understand? We wanted to go fight and march, put our hands together and sing Kumbaya with a so-called white man during Martin Luther King's dream. And now look at us. We're worse off in America after Martin Luther King. Right. Martin Luther King was a goddamn traitor to all Blacks, Hispanics, and Indians. That's right. Hand-to-hand with the devil, with the so-called white man. That's right. So what we need to do is we need to start separating ourselves. We need to start loving blacks, Hispanics, and Indians only. The so-called white man, they got the world. All we can do is love one another. You understand? That's the greatest thing we can do for our own is put all our resources, all our energy, all our love back into the people that need it. Because we need it, black people.
That's right.
You understand? Hispanic people. We need some type of compassion, and we need to be made a priority for fucking once. Excuse my French. You understand? So with that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You understand?